Alright, hey people. So, it's been a couple days. It's been a week or so since I did the end. And this is a new one called Flotsam. I don't know anything about this except the very brief itch.io description, which was along the lines of, oh, this dude is like a videographer and he does videos for a living. What type of videos? I don't know. We could be getting into just a straight up porn game, but I don't think so. Because it was talking about how he's struggling with his finances and shit, which, oh boy, welcome to the real world, I guess. Um, yeah, let's get into it. Let's fucking jump in. I lumber out of the clunker and slam the door so quickly that I smash my fingers. Ouch. Oh, this is an interesting art. Okay. Motherfucker! My friend yanks on the door handle and releases my gem digits. That's when Newton's law of inertia reminds me of his existence and I fall on my ass. Okay. Ah. Dusty puffs billow over me as my butt smashes against the old parking lot. My potty mouth barks a string of swears. Alrighty. Within the first two or three sentences, this game has already sold me on its pro style. Great. Then, like a toddler, I smush the mango paw into my chops. Morning breath saliva coating sore fingers and soothing some honest feeling back into them. For a moment, I allow myself to just sit there, sucking on my hand, absorbing the world through my senses. The hoodie sticks to my body, already blotched with stink and sweat. My improvised plan to be an early bird and beat the heat having only saved me a half dozen degrees. So much for turning insomnia into a positive. I moan. This is beginning to seem more and more like a shitty idea. I stand and comb the grime from my jeans before kicking the car door in retaliation. The old man croaks and creaks as my soul hits home, a gray beard cackling at the stupidity of youth. Take a deep breath and sense of dew and wet earth balloon my chest. Okay, it's okay, you're okay. My affirmations lure my anger from the boiling point, and I survey the forest of overgrown bushes and hedges leading toward my destination. A large pale building looms in the morning sun like a white whale amongst a sea of green. Leafy currents sway erratically, forming writhing tides of wild sedge. They twist and undulate to the giant's deafening snores as the wind slips into its cracked walls and broken windows. The thing's call blankets the entire area with its oppressiveness. Even back on the highway, the old estate was just a speck in the distance. The corpse's howl made itself known. I'll take another look at the elderly clunker by my side before pulling out my phone. Its shiny surface still so pristine and new. The lime green case gleams in the daylight and my silhouette reflects back at me. Thank God. Probably would have thrown another fit if I'd broken my fall. If it had broken from my fall. Yeah, literally nothing has happened and I'm already so invested I haven't commented at all on anything. So why did I do that? Um, okay. So basically, we already have a sense of our character from the very tiny bit we've gotten. He's a bit of a potty mouth. Doesn't seem to be doing too well in life from the little we heard with the insomnia comment and the car being a clunker. Um, he's here to visit an old manor for some reason. Though, it's in the middle of the wilderness. I'm pretty sure this might be in Britain from the description of the landscape. Already, we've got quite a bit to go on within 3 minutes or so of the game starting, and I like that a lot. It feels bizarre to hold it in my hand again, ready to record another video. Few things knew my story, the things I'd been through to find myself in this strange place 100 miles from home. But this thing, this perfect tiny device, it seems so little yet seems so much. It knows everything, or at least it used to know. I give it a few taps and the screen blinks up at me. 100% battery, I'd made sure to charge it overnight. Record as much footage as I can in one run, that's the plan. Anything that wasn't good enough could be tossed in the edits. Palm that wasn't WIA wiped beads of sweat from my forehead and I slipped my phone in my pocket. Then, with a sigh and a stretch, I start down the broken cobblestone path leading up to the estate. My stomach churned with anticipation. The sun's heat pours onto my neck. Humid air licks. Feels all too similar to those times we had nowhere to stay, nowhere to call home. Wandering between public spaces, just trying to find shelter from the fickle piece of shit weather characteristic of the show me state. Okay, so not Britain then. Huh, we. Feet clap along the stone pathway, the building materializing more into reality with every step. That was a terrible way to read that line. That did not convey any of the emotion I'd imagine such a sentence would have. A brick arch hunches over the walkway between the building and I, a faded sign plastered to the top. Heron's Bend, Estate and Fishing Retreat. Okay, we have more info. This is so fucking good. Two lampposts with broken glass and rusted metal. Two lampposts with broken glass and rusted metal necks slump on either side of the arch, long since dead, light bulbs shattered. Similarly, my arms languish on my side, the fatigue oozing from my elbows recalls me to the previous night. The time I'd spent tossing and turning in bed, brooding over every minute detail, allowing my worries to overcome the will to sleep. It was 6 a.m. by the time I finally said to hell with this and got up. Fucking Christ, can you stop describing my life game? Insomnia, man. Still, the anxieties cling to me. How am I gonna make this work? Oh yeah, that's true as well. That's me as well, okay. Little fall on my butt had highlighted the skinniness of the wallet in my back pocket, how close I am to living on the streets again. Jesus Christ. The world had moved so fast since I'd uploaded the last video. By the metrics, I thought the revenue would have lasted an entire year, yet here I am 6 months later, in the middle of butt-fuck nowhere, forced to crawl out of my shitty St. Louis apartment to try and reel in a few more clicks before I'm booted out. Oh, okay, we're in Missouri. Okay, yeah, the description of the landscape makes a lot of sense now with it being in the States, because I've lived in Missouri. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense now. The landscape. Oh my god, I'm remembering things that I had forgotten about that place. It's crazy how quick someone can burn through cash by just existing. Ugh. God damn it, stop. I know that feeling, even though, just, God. I let a dissatisfied grunt wriggle out. Meanwhile, my eyes search over the ramshackle beast I'm stalking. Here comes the runt of the litter. Teeny tiny, square in hand, to slay the geriatric bit with... Fucking Christ, I love this prose. A coup de grace, not to avenge a stolen limb, nor even to save a princess, oh no, but to pay next month's bills. I snort, my face permits a rare smile to cross it. The rent is too damn high indeed. This place, this Heron's Bend, is the last thing keeping my ass from roughing it. Ooh. Ooh, this place looks big. I doubt this place is real. I gotta admit, I doubt this place is real. Because he said he lived in St. Louis. Couple hundred miles. Okay, yeah, he's far away from where I lived then, because the apartment that I lived in at the time with my family was like 40 or so minutes away from the city, so yeah, probably not anywhere near. Then again, I was fucking like 7 to 8 when we lived there, so I might be misremembering things, but still. The entrance to the estate is set behind a pair of large wooden doors. Elegant carvings of native flora adorn their faces, their beauty somewhat tarnished by years of disrepair. In front of the doors sits a large stone fountain. Peek inside the parched basin, and a mass of decaying leaves and sticks peeks right back. Doubtful that anything other than rainwater has been in there for the last few decades. On the other side of the fountain, the cobblestone pathway winds into the brush. It curves and meanders one way, and then, quite unexpectedly, it swoops away behind an expanse of green. My sight makes out the disheveled roof of another building out in the distance, broken boards before the backdrop of running water that is the Missouri River. I can only imagine that to be the accompanying fishing part of the retreat that was advertised. Step up to the estate's doors and examine the oxidized chain binding the handles. Oh yeah, fishing. We went fishing a lot when we lived in Missouri. Like, a lot. A bright plastic tag dangled from one of the links. No trespassing. Violators will be prosecuted. The usual empty threat. My fingers give the shackles a few light tugs, jingling the dainty padlock, holding my destination hostage. The thing doesn't seem locked up tight so much as rusted shut, so I square my shoulders, suddenly thankful that I'd gotten some kicking practice on my car a few minutes ago. I traveled halfway across the state, and I'm about to be stopped by a dinky chain and a plastic name tag. I spring back a few steps to get some distance and psych myself up. Determination boils within me. Then I charge, foot out in front like a knight's lance, and slam into the doorway. In a flurry of chips and splinters, the chain rips through the old wood. The handles break apart and clatter onto the floor. Light rushes past, the dam of darkness finally broken. Just like that, the mouth of the monster opens before me. I wouldn't be surprised if that was literal, if this takes a, oh, the house is alive turn. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but that would be certainly interesting. I like stories about living houses, they're really fucking cool. Even better when they're used to talk about horror and stories of neglect. Those are always just really great. I step inside and the foyer wraps me with the last gasps of cool dawn air. Blobs of perspiration turn icy against my skin, bestowing a relief from the elements that I craved so desperately moments before. Oh yeah, summer in Missouri. I remember it being fucking miserable. Not as bad as summer here in Georgia, oh no, but it was miserable comparable to what I knew back then. Maybe coming early in the day wasn't such a bad idea after all. Give myself a mental pat in the back. See, you can do this. The stone interior choked with soot and debris from fallen roofing, shards of windows. The place's valiant defense against the outdoors mingle with them on creaky hardwood floors. The wind's wails seem strangely distant now, like the universe has softened its relentless battering, shocked that I dare to enter the locked-up belly of the beast. Fucking... I keep saying it, but this is fucking great. I love this prose. This seems so polished. This might be a one-shot, actually. I wouldn't be surprised. This seems like it might be a one-shot. The only movements that caught my eye are the random flecks of dust that illuminate themselves while passing oblong rays of sunlight. Otherwise, the estate is still. Warren never would have proved me coming to a place this run down. Walls shaky and crippled, popcorn ceiling shivering with every whisper of wind, likely clogging my lungs with asbestos. Popcorn ceiling, huh? I am currently staring at a popcorn ceiling myself. Amazing. Would have told me that I'm an idiot looking to get tetanus or break a few bones, and it's not like we could afford that. But as I so often told him, the viewers want what the viewers want. They want thrills and mysteries, they love tension, and I will give it to them. I must. Terrible plan set. Which, by the way, lovely viewers, if you want me to do something and it's against my moral judgment or something I don't want to do, then you're just gonna be told to fuck off, because I'm not about that life. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know any of you. I mean, some of you I know, some of you are my friends, but the majority of you I do not know shit about, and I would not trust with my life. So, yeah. Sorry to remind you that this is not a two-way relationship or whatever the fuck. I don't know. This place fits the bill. My only requirement had been a place not in the city. Maybe I would have had the wherewithal within me to do that again someday, but not today. The fact that this place's name showed up in an alphabetized list, well, that made things easier. Simpler. Like I wouldn't have to purposely avoid ruminating on the past. Thank God for life's simple pleasures. In the foyer center sits a circular pedestal upon which stands an immense wooden statue. A heroic green heron clad in fishing gear. Flung over his shoulder is a long rod, while an open box of lures hunkers beside his boots. All the while, the oaken bird gazes off, the head tilted upward as if it were gauging the sun's height through the crumbling walls. My head leans while I appreciate the features. Fingers tapping along the pedestal while I gaze up at the bird's face. It's gonna move. I can't help but think it's odd to find something so well kept in a place this desolate. It's gonna move. Pulling to my phone's gallery, I arrive at a recently saved photo. I hold the screen up to compare the heron from my research and the one entombed in wood. I nod. Same bird. I knew I'd recognized him from the grainy photographs I'd nabbed online. Some St. Louis bigwig that had made his fortune in the grain trade, floating barges down the river. At least that's what I'd gathered from trawling dead forms and yellowed government records. And before any of you people watch and say it's St. Louis, I don't care. I'm gonna say it how I know how to say it, okay? Oh, ho, ho, St. Louis, Missouri, oh, oui, mon ami, or whatever the fuck. Good grief. Apparently this place was quite the hot spot in its day for rich Midwesterners looking to hammer out a contract or two over a weekend. Ugh, Midwest. I grew up in the Midwest, man. The Midwest sucks. Oh boy. I mean, I kind of miss the winters because the winters down here, they're not winters. So, you know, somewhere to just sit back, cast a line, and talk about their latest extramarital affair. Oof. Jeez, I love this prose. Gotta love 'em. I snort. It seems almost natural then that this guy became a fishing guru. The statue's details are intricately carved and delicately polished. The heron's pristine feathers, the rod's complex fastenings, and the lure's stunning variety. Even after all this age and all this time, it's difficult not to admire the craftsmanship. What would such a scrupulous sculptor think at seeing their work wasting away only to be rediscovered for some clicks? I love alliteration. Scrupulous sculptor. Fucking love that. I run my palm along a plaque on the base, words in relief raised above their surroundings. Bartholomew Edward, 1893 to 1964. Founding President, Missouri River Angler Association. Dude lived a bit of a life, apparently. Fancy title. Yeah. Never did find a definite closing date for this place, though judging by its state, it seems the bastard didn't leave much of a lasting legacy. Behind Mr. Edgar, a grand staircase leads up to the second floor landing. The walkway at the top splits in two, one heading left and one right, each one circling the foyer's upper wall before meeting above the entryway. On the other side, the statue lay other rooms, both of which appear just as forlorn and decrepit from this angle. Time to get to work. I nod and wipe a hand over my face. Alright. Slide down and lock my phone again, the familiar screen shining up at me while I flip between apps. I open the camera and touch a button to flick it around. Flinched at the sight of my own face staring at me. Eyes bloodshot and tired, hair tousled and unkempt. I really do look exhausted and unprepared. I used to have this shit down like clockwork, play and go, record, get out. It was a simple enough process that me and Warren had cooked up. Of course, we each had our own strengths, but we worked well together. And it was a proven formula. Within the first few months, we were making money from the video views. Not a comfortable amount to live on, but enough. Enough to get off the streets. I like to think that was a liberating moment for the both of us. Me more so, considering I wasn't born in that life, wasn't forged by it. My eyes linger on the version of myself behind the screen, a grim doppelganger with a vacant expression plastered across his face. The state's dim light only adds to the lost appearance. Fingers clamp the case in a shrinking vice, suffocating my reflection. It isn't until a few pained snaps pipe out of the plastic that I jolt back to the present. It's been 6 months since I uploaded the last video. The loyal subscribers tell me it's fine. They say that they'll wait for as long as I need to recover, but I know that's not true. I see the numbers, I see the subscriber count falling, dipping with every hour that I sit on my ass and jam my fingers in my car door. The last thing I want is to be out on the streets again. Not again. I clear my throat before lifting the camera for a better angle, making sure to get enough of the place's desolation in the shot with me. A forced smile manifests on my face. Hey, all Andy and Warren here, but then just like that, I'm broken. I feel the tears pouring down my face before I know I'm crying. The vice drops from my hand, it clatters across the floor and bounces into a heap of crunched glass. I fall into a crouch, arms wrap around my legs, watery eyes stare blankly at my feet. Wheezed breaths cough themselves out. I shiver as the emptiness closes in, the loneliness that I had foreseen but not prepared for, the pain I thought I had gotten over. Fear, guilt, loss. Fuck. Get a fucking hold of yourself. I exhale, my breath shaky and uncertain. And I inhale the river of snot threatening to run down my nostrils. My hands press into the dusty ground, and making sure to avoid lodging tinklings of glass within my palms, I leverage myself into an unsteady standing position. I vacuum the shattered pieces of my resolve with another deep breath, and the air's mustiness pollutes my insides. This just needs to be done. My staggering gait drags me forward, and I bend and grab my phone, brushing pointy shards off of the dull screen. I ball up the lower half of my hoodie and use it to wick away tears and any remaining dribbles of snot that to spill over my lip. My phone buzzes to life when I touch it. I sigh in relief, thankful that it had slipped through death's claws for the second time today. My eyes refocus on those of my reflection. Cut that. Fake grin reappears. Hey all, Andy here, bringing you about another video from an abandoned fishing retreat this time. I'm a dozen or so minutes outside the small town of... There hangs a line attempts to reroute itself back on track. Below me, some subconscious piece of myself stays curled up, arms around his chest, trying desperately to convince himself that things are going to be okay. Bring my palm on my forehead and massage the folds of skin in a futile effort to coax the answer out of me. God, where the fuck am I? I could almost hear Warren laughing at me, filling the cool air with that light-hearted mockery he reserved whenever I forgot a line or when he deemed my speech too wooden, too fake. I'd always insisted that was what post-production was for. It was, if push came to shove, we could redo the bad bits or simply delete them. No one would even know what a retarded fuck-up I was. Boone, that's the fucking name. Cut this. Close my eyes and groan as I struggle to reorient myself, searching through the cavernous hole that is morning brain. And I begin again. Hey y'all, Andy here, bringing another video from an abandoned fishing retreat this time. I am about a dozen or so minutes outside the small town of Boone in central Missouri, and today you and I are gonna go messing around this awesome place. Spin the camera and wave my phone around, guiding the recording around the foyer. Before coming to rest at the statue's base, it bobbles as I zoom in on the plaque. It's called Heron's Bend, but it's an old estate down near the Missouri River. You know, for rich motherfuckers in the 1900s. I know it's a little different from our usual stomping grounds back in good old St. Louis, but I was feeling a little adventurous. Pan up the statue, making sure I get as many of the details that I can. Apparently, this guy was the founder, one Bartholomew Edgar. I circled the base, making sure I get a full look before panning around the room again. So anyways, this is what we got on the docket for today. Before we get too far into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment with more videos, and also hit the bell for more awesome stuff like that. Oh my god. I don't like saying that. Even if it's just a character, I don't fucking like saying that. It's so fucking tacky. Cut that last part. Yeah, I clear my throat once more. And also with that bell, to get more awesome stuff from this living me in the future. Alright, let's go now. Guardians and I kick a fallen slab of roofing across the floor. That sucked. But you survived. The fraud splattered across my face, corroded into a weak smile. Weak but real. Genuine. That's the hard part out of the way, now to just splice in some footage while I pan over to decaying furniture and ripped wallpaper. Maybe add some stupid one-liners and jarring transitions, and I had a complete video. There are times the charm, I guess. Throw my arms and roll my joints with a good stretch. Triumph fills my bones. What the hell did Warren know anyway? Getting things right the first time is an overrated ideal. Editing can make everything seem better, and that's kind of the point of all this, isn't it? It's like that shrink bullshit about how everyone only posts their highlight reels. Smoothing wrinkles with filters, stupid poses at landmarks, living my best life. This is just my version of that. Scrub away the boring until only the good stuff remains. And I'll be back at my penny B&B in that hick town down the road, sipping weak-ass coffee and trimming away the fat that society agrees no one wants to see. It's better this way. Gotta chase them views, right? Fucking... Okay, so we're now 26 minutes in, well actually about 27, and the amount of character depth that this guy has already is leagues better than most of these VNs that I've played. I found myself relating to this guy a bit too much, well, minus the being homeless part and the losing someone that I care about part, but, you know, a lot of it seems to reflect me. In the sense that, because my YouTube channel now is like over 300 subscribers, I'm starting to feel that parasocial horror of the fact that I'm never going to be able to meet any of the subscribers I have, and actually thank you personally for, you know, watching my videos, if you even watch them to begin with, because I know some people just subscribe and don't watch videos anymore, but still, those that do, thank you, seriously, it honestly means a lot. I know that sounds fucking fake, I know it does, but trust me, I fucking hate the fake shit. I don't even ask you guys to subscribe barely, ever. Or even, I don't ask you to like or anything barely ever, because I find that shit to be so disingenuous and fucking fake that it curdles my blood. I'd rather be my true honest self than fucking put up a fucking fake personality to get more views or shit. Fuck that garbage. First room anyway, back to this. The first room that I enter turns out to be a rectangular lounge. A dead fireplace lies at the front of the room while a trio of velvet couches sit together in a wide U around a low black table. Cigarette dishes, snuffed marlboros, and whiskey tumblers populate the polished ebony surface. I plop down into one of the couches and the cushions bounce with my weight, exhaling the remnant memories of tobacco soot and aged scotch. It's comfy, homey even. I lean backward and relax, raising my phone lazily with one hand as I record the sights. Damn guys, look at this place, it's insane. I move my phone around. I wave around my device for a minute more before I let my arm to flop beside me. Apathy evicts the joy occupying my face. I don't like how this is making me feel. This is making me look at myself and realize that I'm like this. It used to be worse, but I'm still like this to a degree. The walls of the lounge are covered with various doodads and knickknacks, the expected stuff. Giant lures, first place medals, and fish and catch photos, mixed with the more general flags of sports teams, colorful street signs, and vintage advertisements. I swear, even the fucking way this dude talks is like how I think and talk. Shame the place wasn't open another decade or two. A singing bass, On the wall, singing bass on the wall would have looked pretty badass. I push wisps of geriatric spirits from my lungs and sluggish sputters. God, the fucking prose style, I love it. The place is a dump. A shower of dust arcs in the air as I kick my foot upwards. My fingers dig into the couch and its softness drowns my palms in a veneer of luxury. I could see it now, a party of pampered business execs. Business execs from Chicago gathering around this man cave, shooting the shit over America's legal vices. Tobacco, alcohol, and money. Cheers to that. I grabbed one of the prehistoric tumblers and whirled in my hand, imaginary drinks sloshing with my movements. I plopped my feet up on the table before plucking a crushed cigarette butt from the ashtray and sliding it between my fingers. Warren had been the one who introduced me to these types of videos. Prior to the channel making money, we'd spend the night sleeping in a local park and the days bumming it in the public library's computer lab. There we'd stare at a screen for 10 hours, watching people better off than us make fools of themselves in vlogs and let's plays. It was hard not to wonder what the fuck we were doing with our lives. Not the most productive of ways to separate ourselves from our bleak circumstances that I knew then, and I know now that there are many worse situations to be in. The hordes of syringes I've been forced to tiptoe over and frequent encounters of twitching tweakers told me so. We've been scraping together for a few months when we first saw the video, the exploration of an abandoned construction site in Baltimore. The video had millions of views, the channel millions more. Never did ask how we got to watching some randos explore old places with nothing more than the clothes on their back and their shitty smartphones and vertical video. Yet, despite their exaggerated woes and insanes, the things amassed huge followings. Hell, I even found myself watching after Warren showed me, entranced as they wandered the empty halls of the abandoned buildings where there was once bustling life. Sonder. There was something mystical about the whole experience. Spiritual almost, as the footage stalked around discarded pieces of furniture and flayed wallpaper. Yeah, what you're experiencing is Sonder. Or some other emotion like it. How many people once used this place? Will I be the last? That's when the scheme came to us. How much money could we make recording areas that we already frequented? The streets of St. Louis were crumbling right before our eyes, and who on God's green earth was better suited to capitalize on this decomposing city than the people living on those very streets? It seemed so simple, so attainable, a way out at last. And, of course, I still have my old phone to film it. My fingernails clack the screen of the newish device, and the drum beats swell with dreams of gold and green. Raise the tumbler and toast, drinking in my glory, arms clothed in visible finery and hands sparkling with rings made of fiction. It's fun to feel like $1,000,000, even if it's all make-believe. We rich bitches, well, we gotta take a break from butt-fucking the trash of society for once in a while, eh? Jesus fucking Christ, I like this, but I don't like this. Amen. I rear back in my seat and lob the glass across the room. It shatters against the metal advertisement of a cartoon pig grilling pork chops, a checkered apron tied around his belly. The hog shivers along with the quaking canvas, yet his static grin refuses to move, content to continue poking at his meal. Some animals are better than others, isn't that right? Fucking Christ. This is so... Fucking hypocrite. I hop on my feet and realign my phone. Alright, back to work. I huff and smack a "leaving so soon" sign with an emphatic high five as I exit the lounge. The hours drag while I make my way through the empty halls and deserted rooms, twisting and turning to capture as much as I can. Kitchen, dining hall, reception room, bathroom. Each one each one a foreign world of fine manners and expense blanketed in dust. I arrived back in the main foyer. Like a flawed input to an algorithm, I'm back where I started. The grand staircase stalks my approach, a giant stretching up to the next floor in a bid to intimidate this new player rummaging through the estate's bowels. I wince at the upper level, and my adventures through the bottom floor. After my adventures to the bottom floor, the higher one looks almost alien. Down here, the floor is safe, known, and it looks so high, impossibly high, as if 15 feet were stretched out over a mile. How much of a pussy I'd be called if would I be called if how much of a pussy would I be if I called it here? Called it quits and went home. After you've gone through so much, I gulp and begin creaking up the stairs. 1, 2, 3. One hand clutches the railing and the other the still recording phone swinging at my side. After each stride, I pause and check my weight. Checking my weight will cause the thing to collapse. Whether or not I will crash down into a pile of broken wood and broken bones. That scenario never arrives. The old estate holds, and I soon reach the landing's peak. The hardwood floor melting into plush carpet. Something despicable within my mind compels me to look back, to see just how far up I am and how far I could fall, but I resist that voice. Instead, my vision down crawls along the new ground before me. The colors of the carpet display faded blue loops and green polka dots turned dull by outside forces, maybe the result of exposure to the elements. I fucking love this oh my god. I swear, I was hooked within the first fucking couple sentences from the pro style, but it's just so good. This is so much better than the majority of VNs even give. They don't give any fucking effort, it seems like, into, like, stylizing their prose. It's such a fucking refreshing thing to see. That's that thing he mentioned, that despicable voice inside his head. That's just the call of the void. I've had that happen many times. Where, for instance, I'm standing on, like, the edge of a really big drop. Because me and my dad, we went hiking a lot, and when we went to Tennessee, for our yearly trip, we went to Tennessee, near the Great Smoky Mountains Park. I would always hike a lot. Well, sometimes. And whenever we get up high, I remember I used to stand near the edge of, like, stand near the edge, and I would just look out at these grand vistas, and some voice in my head would say, "Why didn't you jump? You could jump. You could jump, you know." And it scared me. Because I was like, I was a fucking kid at the time, and it just scared me. I feel the same sort of, like, weird, nauseous fear whenever I lie on my back on the grass and just look up at the sky. I feel like I'm gonna fall off the earth. I don't know if anyone else feels those feelings, but I sure do. Gaps in wall and roof to permit weather to wring the remaining life from this corpse, readying it for vultures like me to shred off slices of skin. Once again, I love this. Anthropomorphism. That's not the word. But basically, it's turning an inanimate object into an animate object like this, using you get the point. I fucking love this. This is a great sentence. Trace the lines and shapes of my eyes as they expand from the top of the staircase. On both left and right, the new floor leads to lines of doorways. Chipped golden numbers display themselves in each of the doors. Guest rooms, if I had to guess. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Right along the landing it is. Don't do this. I stare at my new path for a good 5 minutes without moving. The prayer that I have a heart attack and pass out goes unfulfilled. Come on. I thought my legs and stop my feet. Why can't I do this? I know that feeling, actually. Which is why I'm going to go get bed knife. Yeah, I'm gonna go get bed knife real quick. I'll be back in a very quick second. Fuck. Bed knife, bed knife, bed knife. There you are. Right under the mattress where I keep you. Yep. Hello. Alright, bed knife acquired. Let's get back to this. Bed knife hath been acquired. Add it to inventory, please. Yes, indeed. Add it to inventory. I slap my legs and stomp my feet. Why can't I do this? What I was going to say here is I've had this feeling too. Because I've gone in abandoned places before. I actually have. And every time I do, I can't walk. Sometimes I just reach a place where I feel like I shouldn't go. Like some part of my body is yelling at me to do not go there. And most of the time it's not actually real danger, it's just, it feels like it. Haggard breathing fills the air and my chest suddenly begins to pound. The camera trembles along with my shivers. And finally, my rusty joints leave hardwood and sink into the carpet's patterns. Calm down. Calm down. But I can't. After a few tentative seconds of creeping along the landing, I'm running. Darting, pause, swiping, grasping for doorways. I reach the first and glue my hand around its handle, as if it were the only thing anchoring me to this world. My torso compresses itself against the door and my whole body heaves, it latching itself to the frame. The dimly reflective surface of the number 1 brushes my nose with cold metal. A chill vibrates through me. Beads of sweat swindle heat from my skin that evaporate into non-existence like a dirty thief melting away the night. The knob jiggles at my twistings but refuses to open. Fuck, 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 fuck! I break my way from the door and peer wistfully at the adjacent room. With a quickness, I backtrack onto the carpeted walkway and speed toward the next door. Locked. I groan and rear back before I then move her neck again to reach the next door, then the next, and the next. Zigzagging between the barred guest rooms and the landing, the soft surface of the ladder stabs into me with each step. Locked, locked, locked. Pitiful whines weasel out of me. My vision goes blurry, my hands frantic as they bang against the oaken surfaces and shiny handles in frustration. Then, at the furthest door, a knob finally gives way. I fly through and slam the door shut behind me. The bang shakes through the room and judders my bones as I thump my head against a nearby wall. I can't do this. I can't fucking do this. Yes, you can. Stand there forward, resting against the polished wood paneling. Dilated pupils beg the churning waves of grain to wash away my fears. Exhausted shoulder blades underpin the weight of months. It's only after a few minutes that my arteries reopen and blood exhales out of my quaking muscles, trickling back into my delirious brain. My panting breath eases its way into its normal rhythm, reassuring me that everything is alright. I close my eyes and cough before standing up straight. Cut that. Whoa, guys, check this place out! Room is largely empty. This is insane! Oh my god. Only king-size bed rests above the wall opposite the doorway. Pallid sheets nestle themselves underneath a blanket of somber sapphire. Meanwhile, a pair of paintings flank the mattress on either side, a chorus of brush strokes recreating bleak scenes of the Missouri River at dusk. The images dangle above spots where a complimentary duo of nightstands might have stood many decades ago. Spanning one side of the room, a large window riddled with sharp punctures allows peepholes of natural light to trip indoors. I step over a pile of ratty silken curtains strewn at its feet and look outside. From there, my eyes track the gray and brown path that I'd arrived on. My gaze traces the fountain's rim and then skips along the cobblestones. Like by connecting the dots to the brush, it soon arrives at a small boathouse hunched over the riverbank. It looks an outcast out there, a solitary thing. It stoops at the boundary where the green grasses meet and the deep blues of the Missouri, straddling the line between two worlds, not quite fitting neatly within one or the other. That said, I could probably hit its rotting roof if I threw something hard enough from this vantage point. I wonder if the last person who slept here was much of a midnight whiskey drinker. Maybe there's a few tumblers stashed within the sheets. Warm air percolates through the spongy window, nuzzling my skin and reminding me of how pleasant and comfortable it is within the desolate building. A peaceful sigh escapes me. Even with all the bullshit that goes into making content like this, there are stunning views every once in a while. I raise my phone to capture the nuance, feeling for once like a professional photographer or documentary director, and not some trespasser that drove up there in a rundown car looking to make some easy cash. The heat starts making me sweat once more, and I step away from the window into the cool air inhabiting the room's center. As I do so, I can't stop myself from glancing sideways at the bed. A moment later, a yawn eases into my mouth, and I stretch my jaw wide to bark it away. This is a dangerous game you're playing. I walk up and put a hand on the mattress, toying with the idea of sleep. I really had gotten up early, hadn't I? And it's not like there's much else to this place. All I need is a quick pop into the boathouse before I leave, and that'll be that. Maybe it'll even do my nerves some good. Shades of indigo flood my vision. A satin comforter disused and neglected, but still so inviting. How easy it would be to slip inside and get a couple hours of shut-eye. Yes, I deserve a rest, a siesta. Turn off my device and slip into my pocket. A good day's work, mostly completed. I half-heartedly weigh the consequences of waking up to a muggy and hot house once the midday sun starts beating down in this place. But the blanket's caress persuades me it's a useless argument. I give a cursory glance beneath the covers to confirm that I'm not sticking my legs into a snake's nest or any glass splinters. Satisfied, I climb inside, and the bed soothes my stubborn doubts into compliance. It smothers the last of my resistance. The pillow eases my head and neck into a comforting embrace, massaging away all the stress and worries clouding my mind. Napping in an abandoned estate. Nice little tidbit to milk in the voiceover. I snort, more for the thought itself than anything funny. Then I lower my eyelids. My pulse slows, and sleep takes me. Oh my god. 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 This is so fucking good. I don't know what I was expecting when I started doing this video, but I certainly did not expect to be this thoroughly enjoying it. I gotta be honest. It just looked like a typical, since it's 70 degrees out now. I was really hoping to go out there and fucking read, but it feels like it's 70 now. That's the thing. But yeah, I didn't expect to be this thoroughly invested in this. Almost 50 minutes. Wow. But yeah, so within that, how much we've gotten so far, we know this guy's character a lot. We know this guy's character to an almost disturbing degree from just the 50 minutes that we've got to spend with him, and I love that because most visual novels wouldn't even do that. It would take like almost fucking 3 hours to even characterize a character for most VNs. So I'm really glad that I have such a strong grasp of this guy's personality and his goals and such within this short amount of time, comparatively to most VNs. So yeah, the writing style as well is like leagues above most others. God, I honestly prefer this to writing style to the Echoverse at times because it's just it's just good. I would write something like this. I have written stuff like this, but this writing style, oh my god. Concrete smashes into my nose, and I faceplant into the pavement. Try to lift myself only to be rewarded with a swift kick to the ribs, causing me to thud back down to earth. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. A gnarled boot stomps in my hands while my screams fill the air. Then hands going over my pockets, tugging at my backpack, the sound of zippers unfurling. Phone and wallet slid away, cold emptiness inserting itself where they had once hugged my body. Blood and snot dribble out of my nostrils, tears bleed out while I quiver there, crumpled on the ground, turned to a broken mass on the sidewalk. Can't move, can't speak, too shocked, too terrified. Only chokes and gas scurry out. The attacker's palms swish inside my pack, the strips yank me left and right to the rhythm of the rummaging. Fingers grasp and claw around the few possessions I have left, scavenging what little of me remains. My eyes cower behind my lids as the thumping of spare clothes and crinkling of wrappers pummels my eardrums. My willpower attempts to get me to my feet, but my mind pounds with accusations. Weak, spineless. Why, how did I get here? Open your damn eyes and stand up. My brain floods with emotions and I remain paralyzed, frozen, hewn of stone. From some far-off land, a gentle tapping slinks into my ears, an idle pattern like a student rapping their desk with a pencil during class. Between the shuffling and ransacking, it slips into my consciousness so stealthily that I think it is Satan himself knocking on my door. Then it grows louder, louder, louder. Crashes of escalating footsteps boom closer until suddenly the weight atop me is pried away. Shit, okay, I'm about to be jump scared. Thieving little shit! That loud thwack, a cry of pain. We lie there in silence, the gray of payment refilling my vision as I open my eyes. Twitching ears listen to the sounds of struggle around me, not sure if I should play dead or get up and run. Thus I keep merely existing. Even when the scuffling and grunts fade away, I make no attempt to do anything for fear that the boot will return and abuse me again. You're gonna keep lying or you're gonna get up. Sting my body into motion. My muscles heft me upwards like a machine while my face echoes the pain that ripples through my limbs. I turn and I see a dumpy shrew leering up at me, none too impressed. He stands over a deer mouse that is splayed across the ground in misery. As I search for the ability to speak, the mouse in the ground begins flopping around, attempt to scurry away. Undeterred, the shrew snatches the fleeing animal's ankle and hauls him back. Like how you're getting off that easy? Twist the mouse's leg and a paw rings out in coordination with her yelp. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm done, dude. Let me go. Drop everything. Everything, else I'll snap your goddamn shins. It's enough. Before I can blink, the assailant has unloaded his stolen cargo and pilfered goods. Here, dude, take your shit back. I stand there like a shoveled sack of potatoes while the items tumble onto the ground. A couple of mashed granola bars and other processed foodstuffs along with my wallet. Last, he produces my phone, a lattice of fresh cracks etched upon the screen. Shit. The shrew smirks and twists the mouse's leg and another howl out at him, then he turns to me. Go on, kick the bastard. I don't... Stop being a pussy and do it. The levee deep within me breaks. Some hitherto untapped power I didn't even know existed lurches into action. I hop forward and launch a striker's punch straight into my attacker's side. Tendons oh no, 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 no. Fuck that. The wail that fills me with sadistic, vengeful joy, and I recoil at how content it makes my sore bones. That's fucked up, dude. I don't care if someone stole from me. I wouldn't fucking hurt them that badly. Jesus Christ. Sarah nods in approval as he releases my attacker's leg. Come on now. Fucking cocksuckers. Tiniest of wheezes comes out of the free rodent's lips. He shambles to his beaming as to limp away on the empty sidewalk. I simply turn and watch him go, his pain a bizarre mimic of mine as he waddles down the street and turns the corner of the next block. A smile snakes its way into my lip. You fucking... Oh my god. Here you are. Like that, or mysterious guardian angel. He hands my stolen things out to me, and I take them with a nod. Thank you. Tap my navy rectangle a few times. I release a relieved sigh as the screen lights up behind the shattered spiderweb of glass. Well, at least it still works. Hand raises, and I see the Drew staring at me as if it were my turn to say something. His tired eyes wander over mine with a mingled mess of curiosity and bemusement. Why did you do that? Save me from that guy, I mean. He snorts. I look raw. Tends to grab my arm, shame and adrenaline, meld with the remnants of... Shame and embarrassment meld with the remnants of adrenaline pumping in my arteries. I know where this is heading. You from the suburbs or something, so I had to play dress up for a little while down here in the city. No, I just... Words tangle in my mouth as all I can produce is a sigh. How did you... Besides your nice tennis shoes and backpack? Frown worms into my face, and I glance down at myself. The torn jeans and worn hoodie, the ratty sneakers and faded strips of backpack clutching my wounded torso. I contrast that with the stubble of a creature standing before me. His get-up isn't all that dissimilar from my own, more disheveled of course, but he wears it differently, more confident, more real in a way. Yeah, you just have that look about you. Not quite a prissy trust funder, but pretty damn close. Stranger clicks his tongue. So how long then? I was evicted yesterday. Christ. Shakes it at me and closes his eyes. By the time that he opens them, there's nothing but pity occupying his pupils. You knock up a politician's daughter? What the fuck? She next, take away all you owned? No, nothing like that. Well, what flavor condom did jolly old Uncle Sam fuck you with? College debt? Shit, that's no fun. Yeah. Things observe my deflation before standing up straight. Then he steps forward, beam with fatherly mystique. Well, as you know firsthand, there's a lot of crazy people in this world. You want to stay sane. If you want to survive, you're going to need to fight back when those crazies come for you. Points to the deer mouse's ghost lingering there on the sidewalk. You're going to have to deal with fuckers like you hear me? Don't take their crap and get away with it. They pull shit like that, you're going to get the hell up and shove their shit back in. I blink. Okay. Dan raises an eyebrow at the paltry aberration that squeaks out at me, the sniveling of a lost child lost in a concrete wilderness. I cough. Yeah, you're right. Sure enough, we're rocking up a wad of phlegm and spitting it a few yards to his left. What about the police? And that shatters the intimidating facade, bursts into a howling laughter that jiggles his stomach and wobbles his brow. It continues for so long and with such ferocity that even I start to giggle at my apparent innocence. The silliness of it all instills an unfamiliar happiness within my demoralized spirit. Stand there for minutes, madly cackling away in that empty lot. No doubt if anyone passed, they would see us as a couple of druggies on a trip. And in a way, it was something similar. A tiny fleeting scrap of joy underpinned by rough and dejected circumstances. You're a funny kid, you know that? I beam. I aim to please. He pulls a dark blue bandana out of his pocket along with a cracked plastic water bottle. Screwing the cap, he wets the cloth in even darker shades spreading throughout the fabric. Here, clean yourself up a bit. Hesitate. The cloth could be his personal toilet paper, and the water is well-hydrated piss for all I know. But eventually my bruised hands take the waterlogged bandana. Good grief, man. This is just depressing. It's just reminding me that I can't do anything to help these people. Well, not these people because they're fucking fake. They're fictional characters. But you get the idea. You get what I'm trying to say. There are people out there that live like this, and I can't do shit to fucking help them, and it makes me feel useless. It makes me feel like I can't do anything. I don't know what I could possibly do to help those people, and I want to. Fucking Christ, I want to fucking cry. Trails of blood, snot, and tears tickle my pores. They hang from my cheeks and trace my jaw down to my chin. Lifting the rag to my face, I massage the cool surface against my skin. Remnant pebbles and loose boogers peel away amidst smears of bodily fluids. As I remove the moist cloth, it's his outstretched paws stuck out in front of me. Name's Warren. So that's how they met. Hi, y'all. Andy and Warren here. Tap, slide. Hi, y'all. Andy and Warren here. Tap, slide. Takes me a minute to realize I'm lying awake, my eyes open. Hi, y'all. Andy and Warren here. I sit up. The room is dark, the air frigid. I look toward the window and see the faintest of stars returning my gaze. Night? Did I really sleep that long? Tap, slide. My thoughts jumble themselves in a mess of confusion. I bring my palms up to my eyes, rubbing them into my skull. Hi, y'all. Andy and Warren here. I fling my legs out. It crunches on something for bottom of my foot. A new shit. Third time's the fucking charm. Lean down and saw my phone in my hand. The brightness assaulting my vision in the dark. Fresh fissures highlight themselves in front of the display. A no man's land where pixels come to die. Initially able to make out what I'm seeing, shapes coalesce into strange streaks of darkness and light, settling into the familiar forms. The video. We explore Herbert Plaza, abandoned St. Louis Mall. R.I.P. my best friend, please press F, please. The amount of calcified bullshit that I must have been snuffing when I typed out that title. Something halfway between a scoff and a sigh blubbers out of me. It's the only response I can manage. And yet before I can stop myself, my fingers glide forward, pressing and dragging the playhead back to the start. Hi, y'all. Andy and Warren here, bringing another video from an abandoned mall. We're about 5 minutes outside of downtown St. Louis, and today we're going to be running wild around this place. A smile sneaks onto my face while I notice the details. All the small cuts and adjustments that I'd already spotted. A seamless product that flowed so gracefully, perfectly. The pride of all our hard work and dedication. It's called Herbert Plaza. The last few stores packed up shop and left the place about 2 decades ago. Now this is what remains. We even went out and Got a snazzy new camera phone to show it off to you. Myself nodding along as the video showcases the landscape in all its forgotten glory, enthralled by the presentation of my past self, as if I hadn't pored over the footage thousands of times at this point. I can practically recreate the setting in my head. Puzzle pieces within my mind click into place, and the walls of the abandoned mall color in around me. The smell of unemptied dumpsters, the sound of scurrying vermin, and... Yo, Warren, how you feeling about exploring a place that's messed up for a change? Then he's there. That squat, short-tailed shrew, dark clothes and beady eyes. His face partially obscured by the light emanating from his hand. My broken navy rectangle that had been reduced to a hand-me-down. Yeah, there's been me loads of stuff in a place that's run down. Now we have 2 cameras, so all of y'all can get both of our perspectives. I swallow hard against the lump put in my heart-throat prisoner, and my lips curl downward into a soft frown. I pause the video, and Warren's rough but sympathetic visage freezes in place, staring at the camera, at me. You survived because of it. Yeah, I guess I did. I didn't think it would be this hard, this painful. Uploading the video seemed so innocent at the time. Necessary. My back shudders as I browse the statistics. Statistics I'd pored over so many times before. Uploaded 6 months ago. 2.7 million views, 9k likes, 322k dislikes, 63.5k comments. My head tries to calculate the ratio only to settle on the obvious answer. It's not great. The comments are similarly damning. Wow, dude, that's fucking gross. Seek help. And everyone's favorite, the essays. Andy, you are vile. This is an evil thing to do. Never in my life would I have thought someone was capable of posting a video so terrible. You should be ashamed of capitalizing off your best friend's death, don't you know? A dismissive laugh heaved from my tightening chest. Idiots, don't they realize I had to? I had to. My head shakes. Bunch of fucking crazies. They were exactly the audience I'd courted. The audience that I'd asked for. Engagement is great for the algorithm, after all. I give a casual scroll through our back catalog. Videos uploaded 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the final upload. 24k views, 49k views, 52k views. 24 fucking thousand. The thumbnails of the video looked like death. Tarnished slides and monkey bars, broken swings and jungle gyms. I remember it all too well. It'd been Warren's idea to visit the old rusted-out playground that he'd played in as a kid. Spooky in some ways, sure, but I knew that it wouldn't garner the kind of views we needed to grow. There was no danger there, no mystery hiding within a dingy anchor beside the train tracks. I was right, of course. My teeth crunch my lip. No one wants to see some shitty little playground. Me and my big fucking mouth. Maybe he never would have accompanied me if I hadn't rubbed it in his face, called him a retard with no business sense. Because no matter how much I coated my voice in sarcasm, both of us knew some part of me meant it. What use is it only to survive? I want more. I want to thrive. That's so wrong. Lower the blinding screen and bring a hand to my head, massaging my face to escape the cave of guilt I've already wallowed in for far too long. That video gave you the leeway to recover. And the money was stagnating away, the channel's direction, our views, our engagement, everything. The video breathed new life into it. One less mouth to feed. One less hand scrounging for loose change. Yeah, that's right. strive to steel myself in as the words warm out in whimpers. It's the past, this is the future. It's time to find the next thing and maintain the remnants of the momentum. The life I want for myself is still there, still attainable. I need to keep going. More confident voice echoes around the empty room, and panicked bounces jumping between the peeling walls before slithering into the floorboards, cracks like a prey fleeing a predator. Then the house falls silent, utterly. It's only now that I realize how empty the place feels. Windy howls no longer inhabit the air. The old estate's creaking whines are nowhere to be seen. Rather, its foundations watch and wait to see what I will do next. My eyes drift towards this impossible night. I bring the phone up to my face and check the time. 11:24 a.m. What? Maybe stepping on the phone had done something, had broken the clock somehow. But then again, why had my phone been on the floor and playing that of all things? My hands shake. I run toward the window, somehow thinking that if I just reach out, I'm able to strip this fake night from the sky and reveal the sun coyly hiding behind it. I extend a hand, moonlight bathing my arm in a strange alien glow, a kind of pseudoluminescence. My breathing accelerates, my chest pounds while I stare at my outstretched arm, feeling the pang of night swallowing it. I pull back suddenly and stumble over the heap of curtains around my ankles. You're losing it, calm down. Shutter my eyes and take a deep breath. You're fine. Everything's fine, you're still asleep, you're dreaming. So you're gonna open your eyes and realize how stupid you're being. My eyelids ease back open. Nothing. The world is still dark. In the blackness, I pinpoint shapes and silhouettes trawling the empty fountain, the path, the foliage, the river, the dock, the boathouse, a man. I freeze. Standing there against the boathouse is a lumpy thing. The scene is bathed in shadows, but I swear I can discern the rough features. A head, a body, legs, arms. That's a man, it has to be. It's just a pile of wood, a sack of fish carcasses, a pile of tires. But it isn't. It can't be. Because I know who. Stop. I feel it. I don't know how, but I feel eyes on me. That knobbly figure in the distance knows where I am. It's staring straight at me. Doesn't move, neither do I. We just stare. Don't you fucking dare. I don't want to be jump scared right now. Fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off! Then my instincts take over. What was it? What was it? I skipped dialogue? I must have skipped dialogue. Holy fucking crap. I didn't expect this to be scary. I mean, I was already kind of spooked, but oh my god. Then my instincts take over. No! My feet pound against the floor, hustling me through suffocating darkness. The thought of turning on my flashlight never enters my mind as a paw throws the door open. I stumble out into the walkway and catch myself on the railing overlooking the statue, the ground floor lurking below. Despite the elderly railing's protests, I use it to balance and then slingshot my body forward. Seconds later, I'm clopping down the steps and crunching through the glass and splinters around the ancient altar of Bartholomew Edgar. A minute more and I burst out into the inky night sky. Even then, I don't take a moment, I don't pause, I keep running. It's only dark. It's only after I pass around the brick arch, sitting there decomposing in the dark, flanked by the dead lampposts, that I stop. Not because my legs want me to. No, they keep telling me to run far away. Get into my car, slam the door shut, and floor it to the highway. Never look back, never come back, never do this again, never. And yet I stop. My pleading eyes descend toward my feet, two masses of blurry vagueness only partially manifest in the night. If my legs are telling me to run, why is it my feet refuse to do so? Andy. There it is. The speech of my panic consciousness had refused to process. My feet had somehow understood. Andy. My name plays with the still grasses and leaves. It dances with them under the moonlight, so pure and innocent, yet weak and soft, wheezing, pained. A name that I had heard so many times coming from that voice. My head twists to look at where it had come from. Shades of deep grays and blues only somewhat marking my path back toward the estate. Andy. Lips move on their own, forming phrases I can't catch. Warren? Is that you? The path stands silent. I wait, stood there, legs facing towards escape, while my head numbs itself with the tickling desire to return. Watching from the heavens, the stars follow me with somber guises. The only sounds come from my own exhausted heaving. My pupils rake back and forth as they scan for any hint, any whisper presence which belonged to the shrew. Warren! Echoing out across land and water, the void devours my call, reduces it to nothing. A hollow thing devoid of all meaning. And yet, just when I'm about to convince myself that that I was imagining the voice, it brushes through the air once again. Don't go. I have to go back for him. No, you don't. He's dead. Dead. No, I can't leave him. Not again. You were the one who survived. My mind flutters with possibilities, each one more vast and wild than the last. My hand cups the sides of my head in some vain attempt to prevent the last drops of sanity from spilling out into the cobblestones. Had this place, this weird and decrepit place, done something? Had it brought him back? Whatever heavens or hells separated the living world from the afterlife, whatever religions had told me about where we come from or where we go after, this is more than that. I'd seen him. There, standing next to the river. I'd heard him. Struggled and weak, yes, but that was him. That was Warren. Dig my nails into meaty palms and break through the warm liquid. One of the few remaining ideas I have to bring me back from the surge of implications coursing through my veins. I can go back. Deleted scenes bubble to the surface, a glitch in reality itself. I push away the doubts clouding my brain and gulp down the apprehensions. My lungs stop as they struggle to mediate between my previous exertions and the conclusions welling up inside my being. Arteries clog with emotions and I choke on the hopes swelling my soul. Warren is here waiting for me, and all the sermons and parables I'd heard about life and death are wrong. I can make things right. I can return the favor. I can save him. A fiery determination kindles within me, and I wrestle my limbs away from my better judgment. It's not long before I'm retracing my steps, trekking beyond the fountain down the cobblestone path, Warren's image seared into my memory. My phone is out again in a steady stream of light. Why is it loading? Why is the loading symbol happening? Fucking Christ, this is so fucking creepy. My phone is out again, and a steady stream of light bobbles in front of me as I push forward. I have knife with me. I'm fucking scared. Between the foliage, I watch the small outline of the boathouse roof grow wider and wider, closer and closer. He has to be here. He has to be. The boathouse itself is a rather simple thing. Little more than a dozen little boats are moored around their secluded shelter, a wide dock beside them. Some are aluminum motorboats, yet others, somewhat surprisingly, are wooden paddle boats. Something to serve the more rustic tastes, I guess. The odor of wet lumber and rot squats in the air. Eyes dart around for the shadow, searching for that thing I know I'd seen. My flashlight palls around the tattered boathouse, hoping to see some kind of explanation, or heck, any symbol of life. Warren, where are you? But there is nothing. No one, not here. The place wears its age, and it bathes in its malaise. There exists not a single sign that anyone has wandered through the area in decades. I root myself at the spot where I'd seen Warren standing, and my head cranks itself backwards to gawk at the estate. There sits the beast, cloaked in darkness, moonlight illuminating its backside with an ominous radiance. Within its silhouette, I can just make out a profile of the bedroom window I was standing at. A cavernous blackness surrounded by a lighter shade of melancholy. A looming behemoth with empty sockets. I half expect to see a shape there in the window gazing back down at me. Maybe Warren. Maybe myself. A window self. For a moment, I entertained the idea of my window self calling out to my boathouse self, smugly telling me to get a fucking grip, to wake the fuck up whatever mix of cocaine dust and entheogens had infested the sheets of the bed I had climbed into. Yet the universe snuffs out my brief flicker of companionship all the same, leaving only an unruly pair of despair and loneliness to fester in my stomach. My thoughts rewind to the image of me having a breakdown in the foyer. A broken man just trying to hold himself together. Cold seep through my clothes and my arms squeeze me close. I shiver and look around once more, praying that things be different this time. That this frigidness surrounding me might vanish at the glimpse of something to share my burdens, no matter how small, some inclination to remind me that I'm not alone in this world. But there's nothing. No frogs, no moths, no mosquitoes. The night hoards them all. Toes lead me down to the dock, and I listen to the boards whinny under the weight of the world upon my shoulders. The river lay bare ahead. It opens out into an endless expanse. Subtle currents shimmer like shards of obsidian. Surfaces snarl and snake amongst themselves. The Ben's far bank leers at me from miles away, consumed by the horizon. Reaching the end of the dock, I peer into the water. Infinity returns my gaze. Infinite Andes and infinite Warrens. Reflections and refractions. No fish. I dip a toe into the water and the surface writhes in response. Ripples skid from where me and my reflection join and bounce off the dock to echo out again. How long would it take to reach the bottom? If I fell in right now, how long would it take? Logic said that it'll be only a few moments. After sinking a dozen feet or so, my feet would hit the bottom and I would be able to press up against the cold mud of the riverbed and launch myself back up to the surface. But something else tells me otherwise. Something deep within me whispers that if I entered, I would never reach the bottom. And never again would I reach the top. I would only sink into nothing. A boundless nothing. Maybe that's what Warren did. Where Warren went. Into that nothingness. And somewhere down there he's waiting for me, and maybe somewhere else there exists an Andy waiting below the surface for another Warren. A Warren that still breathed and moved and laughed. The water continues to lap silently at the dock, transporting my thoughts away from reality and towards some distant destination downriver that I can't conceive. Wake up! I'd fallen asleep. I went into that bedroom and I clocked out faster than I had ever done before, and right now I'm still asleep. Still in that bed. Seeing Warren, hearing him. This is wrong. I recoil from the water. Lonesome droplets cling to me as I step away from the encircling trench. Wake up! This must be a dream, it must be. I smack myself across the face, and the pain of the strike radiates throughout me. Wake up! Hit myself again and again. My nerves fire off with stinging swiftness as each self-inflicted blow. But the world remains, the stars in the sky remain. Unchanged, uncaring, unamused. There is only judgment and blame. I fall to my knees, head looming over the dock's edge at that fake me glaring through the water's surface. I could end it. I could jump in, let go, swallow the river as it swallows me. It's as good a solution as any to wake up! Yeah, dying usually ends these types of dreams, doesn't it? My body scoots forward on the dock, and more of my persona reveals itself underneath the water's surface. That Andy stares up at me with such determination, such bravery. Things I wish I had, things I wish I'd had the strength to do. Escape. Andes flicker in and out of existence behind the sheet of black glass. Andes that lay among emptied pill bottles, their eyes yellow and dry. Andes that dangle from shower curtain rods, their veins blue and bulging. Andes that sit beside spent casings, their faces red and mutilated. Decisions already made, decisions I should have made. I'm so close, just a little bit further. You're better than them. Stronger. I slink forward like a snail. My center of gravity teeters on the edge of the dock, ready to tip my whole body into the abyss. You did nothing wrong. But I did. I did, and I know it. Moisture leaks from my eyes, hands travel up to my face and claw at my cheeks. Fists full of fur and skin plow themselves beneath fingernails, and a liquid thicker than water breaks from my pores. I don't know anything anymore. You're a survivor. No. No, I'm not. I... Don't go. Vision floods back into my skull and I flinch. Instincts possess me, forcing my limbs to crab walk away from the edge. Soon enough, I'm scrambling down the dock on all fours. Warren! Warren! Screaming now, tremoring with a perverse mixture of cold and terror. Where are you? Spin around wildly, the beam from my device flies between the old boathouse, the dark river, and the stone greenery, each one a funerary mask frozen in condemnation. A gale suddenly bellows across the river. The force buffets me to the side as it races up towards the estate. I watch the invisible current rush past and shudder into the old monster, preparing to resume its sinister howls. Yet that isn't what happens. Hey y'all, Andy and Warren here, bringing you another video from an abandoned mall. Goosebumps metastasize over my skin as the estate howls the sound of my corrupted voice. The video. We're about 5 minutes outside downtown St. Louis, and today we're going to be running around. I cram my head between my hands, but the volume remains the same. It's as if the place is whispering directly into me, repetitions ricocheting through my skull in all the worst ways. It's called shit, I can't remember. You remember what this place is called? Really, sometimes forgetting the basic stuff again, are ya? I realize what this is. Not a video, but a memory. Raw and unedited. Stop! The word flings itself from my mouth and I scream in agony. It's called Herbert Plaza. Oh yeah, cut that. Cut that. A desperate idea splashes its way past the din into my brain. Before I can process it, my legs are carrying me back toward the estate, back toward the one place that had been able to muffle the wind's cries before. Moonlight casts a spotlight upon me. Overgrown grasses grab my ankles, stars chitter and cackle. My arms flail erratically. They scream at the night, the hammers of feet on stone dissolve above before reaching my ears. It's like I'm floating, like I'm thrashing through the air, bodies spasming in all directions at once, ready to rend me apart. All I know is that I have to get away from them, get away from the voices that stalk me. A short time later, and I'm tripping into the open doors of the estate. The floor of broken glass and jagged debris welcomes me back, hugging me in a serrated embrace. Screams spill into my mouth, and despite my best efforts to hold the line, they barge outward. My spine propels a cascade of suffering up and out, down my body, squeezing anguish cries from my torso like a sponge. Between shallow breaths, I do my best to curl up into a ball. I let the whimpers and tears flow freely. Now it's the only thing left within me. Through blurry vision, the light from my phone illuminates my sorry surroundings, the hopelessness of it all. This is real. The estate's teeth sink deeper into my flesh. Stand up. No, I don't want to. Yeah, dude, this place is full of crazy shit. My voice prickles in my ears and I fail to stifle a gasp. This time, though, it seems more focused, like it is coming from somewhere rather than everywhere. In origin. This place looks like it's gonna fall apart any second. Oh, come on, this place is better than half the others we've been visited. Besides, the danger is what gets people talking. Something about those conflicting statements switches me into action. Fingers close around the lit green sphere and the legs draw my torso upwards. My hands pluck at glass shards wedged within the squishing folds of skin. Their edges shine with the brilliant scarlet of fresh blood. When did you say that this mall closed down again? I didn't, because I don't know when. Maybe late 80s, look at that there. I crane my neck instinctively, looking around the monotony of broken walls and decaying boards as if reliving the moment from all those months ago. Looks like an retro 80s arcade to me. I wouldn't know. Of course you wouldn't. How's your fucking knees, Grandpa? Warren's warm chortles lure me forward, tempt me, taunt me. The staircase squeals with each step I plant. My feet root themselves into the ground. I have to yank them free. And yet I continue. I continue despite knowing where this ends. Against my better judgment, against that voice in my head screaming at me to stop, the last morsel of twisted thoughts try to hold me back. To turn around, to run, to just move on and forget. Forget the estate. Forget the subscribers. Forget Warren. Forget. I arrive at the top of the stairs just as my stomach drops back to the ground level. The murmurs of my past self returning once more. Hey dude, circle around that landing and get some foot on the other side. And pivots to left me again, walking forward, obeying the command without question. There, no I'm not doing that. Seriously, come on, stop being a pussy. Andy, that whole thing looks unstable as shit. My mouth is dry, my movements predetermined, my forehead slick with sweat. Why don't you do it? You're smaller than me. Such a simple observation, bait laced with poison. You admitting it don't look safe? Just grab your balls and go. Muscle memory activates. Hands reach themselves forward, push on empty space where Warren's back is supposed to be. And Andy! See, nothing. A rumble. A sound vibrates through my core, my soul. I fall to the floor, lurch forward, and throw up onto the carpet. Crackle, crackle, crunch, crunch. Through my blurry eyes, I see Warren returning my stare through the undulating carpet. His pupils are wide and dilated with fear. Irises claw for answers on my face as the notes crescendo into a symphony. My body quakes along with the noises, growing louder, louder, louder. And I was 6 months and 1 second too late. The bile that I'd retched onto the floor squelches between my fingers. A series of vaguely sentient babbles rattle from my mouth, a volley of nonsense, a jumbled cacophony. My throat heaves again and I vomit out an empty pile of spit and saliva. The eyes in the carpet are dead, are gone, replaced only by the endless loops and dreary dots from before. The landing is intact, and it takes a moment of staring at the walkway to register that I'm half a state away from where it happened. Somewhere deep inside, it feels right that I am here on all fours, drool and barf dripping from my slackened jaw, the hands that pushed him slopping puke. The recording continues to echo from the rooms in front of me. The remnants of rubble and rebar is settling into an uneasy equilibrium with the universe. Cut that. Clenched fists form from my hands. Holy shit, what happened here? Oh my god, Warren? Warren? Shit, guys, do you think he's down here? I can't see him. The lie chills me. The words hollower than I remember. Don't worry, I'll call for help. Chorus of fleeing footsteps fills the space before descending into silence. I'm alone. I breathe a sigh. The end of the recording. The end of the memory. I'd watched it many times before, making sure that everything was right, that all the incriminating parts were cut out and deleted, gone forever. And yet here they are. Through some power, some otherworldly energy or lingering guilt, the memory of that day is still here, still haunting me. Remorse pours over my face and emptiness soaks into my being. It carries me away, churning my insides into riptides and whirlpools. I'm crazy. I'm fucking crazy. mash my hands into the wet carpet and reach for the railing, using the groaning wood to pull myself back up to my feet. You survived. An ember of defiance lights within me. I'm tired. So goddamn tired of feeling sorry for myself. Is it so wrong to choose me? Is it what you want? For me to feel pain? For me to feel guilt? I wiggle my toes, not knowing if I have permission to move or not, yet even despite that, a guttural bastardization of my voice billows out. What is it you want from me, huh? Straightening my back, I smirk at the empty estate, and the world quivers at my newfound gumption. I don't know what's causing this anymore, what its goals are, but I can't let this memory drag me back into the pit of sorrow I've wallowed in. The pit a weaker Andy would not have emerged from. No crying, not this time. Answer me, Warren! What the hell do you want from me? Growls sputter out of my lips and snarls radiate from my throat. My shoulders square themselves and my chest puffs outwards. I did what you said! I survived! I fucking survived! You hear me? You fucking hear me, Warren? I am a fucking survivor! Andy. Just like that, my inferno was doused. My tongue freezes into ice. One of the guest rooms down the landing swings open. Don't go. I pivot my flashlight and stare at the open door as it is about to fly off its hinges and attack me, knock me down, kick me, rob me of my mind, body, and soul. I'm not. Warren? Gone are the shreds of bravado, the fantasies of bravery and grit. How quickly those feelings had manifested before being stolen by Warren's voice, drowned to death by his words. I'm not dead. The words are crusty and worn, old and abandoned. Something that isn't him, but is at the same time. Speech that is unfamiliar to me, a memory no longer mine. Feet creep beyond the refuse I purge when my brain short circuits. Move! Breathe! I'm here, Warren. Bastard! You laugh at me. I grab the side of the open threshold and peer inside. He left me. The room is dark. So dark. My phone's minuscule circle of light scatters along the walls and floorboards. A bed, a nightstand, a lamp, a window, a chair, a table. A dead man. I'd played the moment in my head thousands of times before, tinkered with explanations and rationalizations to have in my pocket just in case. Backup plan to ward off death if he came for me while wearing Warren's skin. Grand speeches about reincarnation, the cycle of life, making mistakes, accepting the past. Maybe he would catch up. Maybe we'd catch up, pull up a seat, talk about how his death had gained more traction than the last dozen of our adventures combined. But those thoughts don't go into me now. And I don't know if they ever will again. He left me. I look at the object within his grasp. The shattered navy blue phone in the impossible man's hand plays his version of that day on repeat, though he himself does not move. His recording, his memory, my old phone, a ghost from the past reaching through the screen and speakers. He left me. The eyes are shut. A halo breaks its into this into yeah, bakes itself onto his shadow as my device illuminates him. He left me. Clothes from that day are perfect and pressed onto his fur. The body is not marred by scrapes or dust. There are no signs of the fall, no signs of the collapse or anything else on him. He simply is. A dead man somehow preserved. No, not preserved. Looped, rewound. Rewound before everything went so wrong. This couldn't be the same man. It couldn't be. Warren? The thing's eyes flick. Oh, I hate that. A recording that moves on its own. Warren? My name's Andy. Andy, huh? Andy, that's a good name. Well, it's nice to meet you, Andy. Welcome to our wonderful little world. Good to be here. That's the false positive we live for. Hey, Warren. Hmm? You didn't answer my question from earlier. Do what now? Why did you save me from that guy, that mugger that attacked me? Weird question to be asking, don't you think? Not really. That guy could have had a knife or something and shanked you. You helped me anyways. Why? Beats me, honestly. I guess it was just the right thing to do, wasn't it? You do have your rights and your wrong. You do know your rights from your wrongs, don't you? Of course I do. Good man. Can't have crazy do whatever they want, messing up the place. As far as surviving out here, you see, doing good, helping people in need, them's principles to live your life by. Those principles don't seem to have gotten you very far in life. See, that's what I mean by the prissy trust funder bullshit you got going on. My principles led my ass being here to save your ass. All you want to do is complain. What I'm trying to say is that people need a purpose that keeps them going. Otherwise you become one of them crazies I've been going on about. Making any sense at all. Yeah, I think so. Good. And you know, one day they would turn the favor to me. Now, wouldn't that be something? It happens so fast. I don't feel, don't see, don't move. Then pain. Currents of agony pulls within the beatings of my heart. Shards of glass burrow into my back. One of my legs snaps against the floor in a right angle. Aching, throbbing, suffering, crying, gasping. Open your damn eyes and stand up. Light. Heaven. The thoughts fill me. Sloshes into my person. Flows into my soul. It's so bright. I uproot a bleeding arm and shield my face from the sudden assault of brightness, the world behind a blur of blackened fuzz. Greeting me is another pair of eyes. Dead eyes, wooden eyes. I stare at the head of Bartholomew Edgar. The heron's beak skewers so deeply through my torso that the face gawks up at me. His immaculate features swim in blood and sinews, lukewarm intestines tangle wetly in his maw. The pedestal is empty now. The statue lay in splintered pieces around me, inside me. Fragments of the erstwhile railing do the same. Warren. It's barely a whisper, barely a plea. Heaven's light responds. It moves, it bobs, it shuffles. Warren? The crunch of glass in my ears as footsteps grow closer. The light's intensity heightens. A close-up, a zoom. I feel the camera searching me. Its light pans around my open wounds, raking over my body, immersing itself in the ecstasy of my pain. Pans down briefly to get a good look at the heron's head in all its detail before blinding my vision again. Tried to speak once more, but only faint gurgles surfaced from my first from my mouth, then from my exposed stomach. I can't breathe. The recording sweeps around my contorted face, making sure to get every angle. Then it's gone. God's light vanishes and darkness bathes us. The vague silhouette of a shrew remains. He stands there silently for a moment. Only a moment. Peering down at me. And then he runs. Jesus. What do I even say to that? What do I even say? You're welcome. What do I even say? How can I even say? What? I went into this expecting a fairly standard sort of like maybe beginning of a visual novel, and then as it went along, I mean, hell, within the first fucking 5 sentences, I was hooked. The prose style was great. The characterization was like fucking top here within the first 10 minutes or so, and it just got better and better, and the atmosphere grew and grew, and the fucking scares were actually scares. They fucking got me. Like that. I mean, and the overall story as well is just amazing. I really should have seen that twist coming, though. I really should have seen that twist coming. What with him saying that he spent hours and hours going over the footage, making sure it was perfect and seamless. Yeah, I really should have got that from that. But overall, that was a really well executed story. This just proves you don't need much to tell a compelling and good story, because all of those things at the end, those are all like from free sources and shit. That's like bare minimum stuff. The most that like the work that you had to do was like tie it all together, and then the writing, which the writing in and of itself was some of the best I have seen in this like in the FEN sphere. Also, holy fucking shit, I was not expecting to have this end in a gruesome death. I'm not gonna lie. That hardly ever happens, and I'm so fucking that's like the perfect ending. I'm sorry, it's the perfect ending. I really hope my voice acting was good, because I put effort into that this time, because I was into it. And when I'm into it, the effort comes out seamlessly. It just does. I think the writing style in general, it's just the prose, the way it was written, the way that whoever wrote this is a natural writer. They know how to hook you, they know how to keep you invested, and they know how to make it interesting. I would write this. I'm not even kidding. I would write something like this. I think I have written something like this. But like, man, this is really, really fucking good. This is like really, really good. And I'm recommending this to literally everyone I possibly can. Everyone. Well, maybe not everyone. Some of the subject matter and some of the things that happen are a bit too dark for some people to handle, but still, really, really fucking good. I guess I'll see you in the next video, whenever that'll be. See ya. Bye bye.